All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. So this video was put up about 6 months ago, and it's of the ISUPK, which are a group of Hebrew Israelites. Okay, predominantly these guys are, they're not black only Israelites, but they push that that you gotta look like an Israelite, all right? Because we've had encounters with these men. I know brothers personally that encountered these men. I've seen these men on the highways and byways, when I was out with other brothers. And these men are carnal, man. These men portray an image that justifies Esau, who is a so-called white man, the devil, coming in and ripping you to shreds, man. These guys are preparing a table for that troop, okay? They're justifying the government, all right, Esau's system, in cracking down and, demonizing you, labeling you, and getting away with the label of you being a terrorist organization, man. Now just look at them, man. Okay? See, the scripture says you shall know them by their fruits, man. Okay? And you see these guys fighting with other Israelite groups, right? They got into a street skirmish with the IUIC. Okay, where the IUIC, I guess, called the cops on these men. But, if you were doing the right thing, all right, then you wouldn't have got the cops called on you. You wouldn't have got placed in handcuffs. But going back to this, look. Okay, you got a man to the left of, you see Johanna. I'm going to zoom in for you. Okay, you got Johanna right there in the middle. That fat bastard. Okay. And to the right of him, our left of the screen, but to the right of him, you see a ninja with a vest on and a ski mask looking like a fucking actual ninja, man. That image is not the image that Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai wants his men to portray or to, manifest in the eyes of the public, man. In the eyes of the world. Okay, not even amongst each other do we go around dressing like these guys, man. Yeah, you might have a couple brothers that, like to wear all black, but, we are a beautiful, colorful people, man. A lot of brothers you see wearing, floss apparel, man. Now don't get it twisted. It has nothing to do with the way you dress, but the image you portray, this is not it, man. Now let's get into these scriptures. All right, so this is Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. A sheep doesn't come off as violent, all right? A sheep doesn't come off looking like a menace, man. Okay? That's what a wolf, implicates. Okay, the wolf, you see a wolf. Shoot, you see a big dog, man. You already know to tread with caution. Okay? You see a wolf. All right, you know what time it is, man. Okay, you getting out the way. All right, you see these guys dressed like that, especially Esau sees them. Esau is going to see you as a menace, man. He's not going to see you as a sheep, as a docile, offenseless, creature. And that's the image that we need to portray. That's the image that we need to actually show forth to the world, that we are not offensive. Okay, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to bring the offensive. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to fight this battle for us. Our job is to preach the word, to usher in Yahweh Shai. Okay, we're not going to fight against this devil. Okay, you don't see brothers have videos like these guys have where they're out there shooting guns and stuff, doing drills. Okay? You don't see brothers posting pictures on the internet of us with swords and weaponry. Okay? That's not you. Hey, I'm going to continue. It says, be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Okay? We're not out there with guns at the camp. All right? Shooting videos with guns on us like these other guys, man. I've seen the Sakari. They had members or other men, other Israelite men that they were congregating with bulletproof vests and assault rifles. No, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai forbid we go out like that, man. Okay? That's not the image that we want the world to see us. Okay? Because we truly believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and we understand these scriptures. All right? Let me get this real quick. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's a commandment. We're supposed to wait upon the Lord. It says, until the day that I rise up to the prey. The prey is these other nations, starting with Esau, the so-called white man, and then 2/3 of our people, man. Because 2/3 of our people are nothing but ninjas, man. Goons and goblins, man. Witches and warlocks. Okay? Yahweh Shai is going to rise up to the prey. Yahweh Shai is going to come with his military and fight against these demons, man. Okay? Now, there is scriptures that do say the Lord is going to give us power, that he's going to send forth hunters. Okay? But if you thinking you're going to do it with an assault rifle and a bulletproof vest, you ain't that guy, man. Okay? Because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. All right? This is spiritual warfare. Okay? And we're doing this, we're fighting this battle, we're in this war as spiritual men. Okay? We preach the word. Okay? That's our weapon, is the word, these scriptures. And then, if Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai finds you worthy, okay, he's gonna turn you into a hunter, man. Okay, he's gonna give you that spiritual power. Okay, spiritual weapons, man, power, real power. You watch the Marvel movies, man. You watch X-Men. Dude, the X-Men were fucking lit, man. You had Cyclops, he could shoot lasers from his eyeballs, man. You had Wolverine, he could, he had those claws, but Wolverine, he didn't just have those claws, man. His bones, his skeletal structure was adamantium, which is supposed to be like the hardest material, that was known in the Marvel universe. But it didn't stop there. Okay, Wolverine also had the power to rejuvenate. Okay, to heal himself. over time. Okay? These are actual powers that Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to bestow upon the elect. You had Storm, the Judite woman, she was able to control, and summon storms. And so on and so forth. Magneto, he could control metal. He could bend metal. You had Xavier, he could use like telekinesis, ESP, if you will. These are real things, man. You had the Human Torch, Silver Surfer, Iceman, the Juggernaut, all these characters, man. The Hulk, and those characteristics of those forms of power can be found in the scriptures, man. King David said he was able to bend a bow of steel with his forearms. Okay, Samson was able to bring down buildings like the Hulk. The disciples, the apostles were able to heal people. Shoot, Yahweh Shai, he healed people. Okay? Everything that you witness in this life goes back to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right? This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8, one more time. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, until the day that I rise up to the prey. Yahweh Shai is going to rise up, all right, against our enemies, man. Okay? We do not possess the physical might, nor will we ever possess the physical might in these bodies outside of the power the Lord bestows to the elect to fight against this devil, man. Okay? That's not how the Lord intended it to be. Okay? So if you think you're going to pick up a gun and go out and fight against this devil, you're out of your fucking mind. This man has drones. This man has, cyborgs in the work, man. Those bug outs that think they're going to go and fight against this devil, he's going to rip them a new one. Okay? For my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's assembling these kingdoms, man. All right, he's stirring the pot for these nations to start clashing, to go to war. Okay? These nations are about to go to war. You have that news reporter or whoever the hell he was, eavesdropping on that secret council of how they're going to destroy Yemen, how they're going to fight against Yemen and Iran. Okay? So the Lord, he's already setting up these nations to go to war. And they're all going to go to the Middle East to fight. And that's where the Lord is going to return. Okay? It says to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Okay? So if you think you're going to fight this devil by picking up arms, you're a bug out, man. The Lord going to kill you, man. Okay? So one more time, in Matthew 10 and 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Everybody outside the truth, okay, is a damn wolf. Okay? And a wolf, all right, seeks to eat the sheep. Okay? Even these Israelites that say that they're in the truth, but they're teaching you baloney, those are wolves too. Yohana, he's a damn wolf. And he's looking to eat the sheep. Nate, Satan, that's a damn wolf. Okay, Tazariak, that's a damn wolf. Okay? They're out for their own bellies. Okay? It says, be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men. Yeah, beware of these guys, man. Okay. Now remember how the scripture said, there was men of the church of Berea that were searching the scriptures to make sure everything measured up, to make sure what the apostles, the disciples were preaching, were true. Okay? You have to be like those men. But I'm going to tell you this. I've been around the block in this spiritual journey. I came into the truth in 2014. Not that I'm being proud, but I've seen many men come in and bug out. All right, I've seen these other groups with all their madness. You got fucking demons out here. Demons out here on my job site. I gotta go rebuke this bitch after I'm done. But trying to throw me off. I've seen these other Israelite groups, IUIC, ISCPK, Sakari, the thing that just came up about Eleazar. There's always some madness brought forth. Okay, all the darkness that they're involved in gets brought forth to the light. Okay? Their works are being shown. The fruits of their labor. And I say that because, Great Millstone, GMS, not that I'm a fucking man pleaser, because I'm not, excuse my French, but it's the truth of the matter, that Great Millstone, okay, yeah, you're going to have bad apples, guys that are bug outs that come in, but they weren't meant to be in Great Millstone. They just crept in unawares. But when it comes to the apostles, okay, the elders, a lot of these men, well, I would say the apostles, the elders, these men, they have never steered us in the wrong direction, man. They have never lied when it comes to the truth. Okay? The apostles, all right, of Great Millstone have been honest, okay, and they, preached Yahushai in the correct way. They never told us to pick up guns and sell drugs and no, none of that, man. They always told us to be honest, okay, and to just do the work. If you need money, okay, you gotta make an honest, living. All right. So, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils. That's what these guys are doing. Okay, let me get another one real quick. All right. Yep, this is Isaiah 65, and I'm going to just jump to the point. Verse 11. But ye are they that forsake Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Okay, once again, going back to this madness, man. These guys are preparing a table for that troop. For the CIA, the FBI, for Esau's, special forces to come through and obliterate you guys, man. These guys have sold out. I'm not saying that the members, but the heads of these Israelite groups, man, they've sold out. Yohanan took the purse, man. That's why he's telling his congregation, how are you going to eat during Jacob's trouble if you don't get the chip? That he's going to get the chip, and so are his members that follow him, man. Okay? I don't want to drag this lesson on too long, but you know what? These guys, man, They're going to get you guys killed. I took a screenshot to put as my thumbnail. You know, they're preparing a table for that troop, man. And that's Esau's, you know, his special units. Okay. To come in and just snatch you up and butcher you guys, man. Throw you into FEMA camps. Okay. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Right. That's what's going to happen at 2/3, man. You following after these other guys, okay. You thinking that, you know, we're weak, you know, that we're off because we're telling you to trust in the Lord. And these guys are telling you to trust in Esau's blessing. These guys are telling you to be carnal, but we're telling you to be spiritual. Okay, you're all going to bow down to the slaughter, man. Watch what happens, man. To the heads of these other groups, man. They're going to get butchered, man. Okay. It says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. Right. You seen when Nate's a fucking a detective. Nate's fucking COINTELPRO, man. He's an agent. You know? He got 2 guys arrested, and they sued him. They countersued him for $1 million. Okay? These men will deliver you up, and they're going to deliver you up subtly by, you know, teaching you that you know, trying to train you up and have you be carnal and militant, man. Esau sees everything, man. All right, Vice got a video with these guys, you know, and Johanna, ISCPK, at gun ranges and shit, man. Doing drills. Okay? It says, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So we're going to be brought before these people, you know, before high officials. And they're going to question us about what are we involved in? What are we preaching? Okay. The elite know. The elite of Esau, Edom know that what we're teaching is the truth. But it's all to put you in a corner. Okay? And we preach, man, you know, to warn our people, to warn the flock. Okay, we tell you this because if, you know, to prepare yourself for temptation, man. Okay, prepare to be tested, to be tempted. Okay, because real soon, you know, shit's gonna hit the fan and we are going to be public enemy number 1. Look up Project Megiddo, and it tells you factions that are labeled as homeborn terrorists, man. And these dickheads that are out there portraying a violent image, they are a reason why we're all going to be thrown in that same category, man. So, you know, stay away from these damn demons, man. These bug outs, man. If you believe, stick with Great Millstone, man. You can't go wrong. All right, so with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Till next time, Shalom.